Reece is tracking a rogue wolf who has been mysteriously targeting his mate, Trinity. The trail leads him to an invisible barrier, a sign of powerful magic. He encounters a chilling voice, claiming to be the true alpha of the land and threatening Trinity. Reece suspects powerful warlocks are behind the attacks, targeting Trinity for unknown reasons. But as he prepares to break the news, he decides to give Trinity one last taste of freedom, a final night of carefree enjoyment before the inevitable restrictions. He orchestrates a surprise date, hoping to soften the blow of the impending confinement. How will Trinity react? Who is the mysterious voice? And what do they want with Trinity? What are the warlocks planning, and how will Reece protect Trinity from this unseen threat? Will Trinity suspect anything is amiss as Reece plans a seemingly romantic evening for her?
A great dinner and a beautiful restaurant was exactly what they needed. He could charm her the way he hadn't before. This would be different from their breakfasts at home. This would be their first date. He heard Trinity's heart quicken beside him. Was she nervous too? Breathe, little bunny. Trinity admired the restaurant on the way to their table. She looked impressed until she noticed the patrons glaring at them from the lobby. Ignore them, they're just hungry, Reece said while pulling out Trinity's chair. A waiter approached with wine, so Reece had a moment to restart. He said, I'm sure I could handle whatever came our way, but goddess forbid. If something happened, I needed our pack by our side. Right, she started sarcastically, because alphas are so good at asking for help. You laugh, but I'm alpha for a reason. Yeah, because your dad was an alpha. It's not just that. If the air isn't strong enough, we admit that, and give it to whoever is strong enough to support us. I earned my title. Trinity looked at him differently then. She sized him up. I didn't know that, she admitted. I trained my whole life to take care of this pack. The only reason that rogue hurt you on the mountain is because he had such a head start on me. I only needed 10 more seconds to stop him, but I didn't have that time. He glared into his wine glass. He'd never wanted to tell her how he failed her. He would never let it happen again. Her voice softened. Is that why you didn't visit me in recovery? You blamed yourself? I know you blamed me, but I never blamed you, he said. What? Your hike was a great idea. You didn't know that the rogues would get that far into our territory, and you saved that boy's life. If you'd had a bit more time, you would have been in the clear too. Trinity shook her head. Why are you saying all this? What do you want from me? Nothing, he answered, though that was a lie. More than anything, he wanted her forgiveness. He wanted to take back the months he'd wasted that wedged between them. A waiter dropped off their soup, but Trinity refused to grab her spoon. You can't be awful one day and kind the next, she told him. When's the last time I was awful? He cringed. Don't answer that. I acted badly before. I thought you'd do what everyone else does, but you're not like everyone else. That's why I saved you. It's easier to save me than find a new mate, she said. His temper flared. Why was she being so difficult? We only get one mate, he told her. Has anyone ever tried finding a second one? He huffed. No, that's not how wolves are. Good thing I'm not a wolf then, she said, finally reaching for her soup spoon. His growl shook their wine glasses. You wouldn't dare. But you would. You only want me when it's convenient for you. How long until you get bored and reject me again? How long until you do the same? He snapped. You act like I'm the only one resisting, but you've run away and complained. You kicked me out of your room. Because you rejected me. I ran to get space to process this, and you refused. I was terrified. but I still got dressed for you. I tried to connect with you. And what did you do? You rejected me again. How can I trust you after all that? His cheeks burned with shame. He hadn't expected to really hurt her. He thought she could never love him without a wolf. He thought he was protecting everyone. His heart sank. His wolf whimpered. A new tension took its place, a simmering heat that flared with every giggle and flutter of her eyelashes. His wolf was firmly at attention as he led Trinity to the car with a hand on her back. The heat between them warped time. The drive home felt too quick and endless at the same time. He needed to touch her. He needed this to be more than one night of peace. He led her to the house elevator. Neither of them pressed a floor button. His fingers danced on her hip, and she shivered into the touch. He had to ask, "Do you feel it too?" "Feel what?" she asked, but she sounded as breathless as he felt. He used his grip on her to spin her to him. She gasped. Her eyes were wide but dark with the same hunger that coursed through him. He leaned down, letting his nose guide him, inhaling her cheeks and neck. "What are you doing?" she asked. He practically purred, contemplating a second dessert. "Don't touch me." She pushed past him to jam the button on her floor. I knew what this was. I still fell for it. What is wrong with me? Trinity rushed off the elevator without waiting for him. Reece wanted to run after her. Really, he did, but convincing her was already impossible. And running in his current state would have been extremely uncomfortable. He readjusted himself as the doors closed. Tomorrow, I'll deal with her meltdown. Tonight, I'll take the coldest shower known to man.
Reece stared at the closing elevator doors, a frustrated growl rumbling in his chest. He'd messed up, royally. Trinity, his mate, his stubborn, infuriating, and utterly captivating mate was gone, and he was left to simmer in a cauldron of regret and desire. Will Reece be able to apologize and explain his actions? Can he convince Trinity that his feelings are genuine, or has he pushed her away for good? And what will happen when his wolf finally gets a taste of freedom?
Hey, I am Trinity. Want to know what happens next? Then click the link in the description below and download the Pocket FM app and listen to the exciting episodes of Chosen by Fate, Rejected by the Alpha,